Good morning, Tal. How are you?
Good morning, God. I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about migrating data centers and resources to Azure. Now, you are a number one guy for this topic, and I know you've been doing a lot of migration projects with customers, and I would like everyone to see and to understand how easy that can be with Azure tools. So why don't you show us a little bit about it?
Yeah, great, no problem. So basically, most of the times migration was we're performing with a tool called Azure Site Recovery. But in the last couple of months, Microsoft has given us a new tool. I can show you the screen right now.
Yeah.
The new tool is called Azure Migrate. Azure Migrate is a service that help us and help the enterprise assess its on-premise workloads prior to the migration. Let me show you one assessment here. Here it is. So as we can see, we have an example of a couple of virtual machines that we can check the readiness of these machines in a migration to Azure. And
Okay.
also we can estimate the costs that these machines will
And the
cost us
size
on
of the
Azure.
machine, I see, yeah.
Yeah, now this is an assessment, and we don't have to use the exact assessment and the exact size that the assessment gave us, but also we can choose different kind of tools, of assessment tools like Cloudomize or Turbonomic if we like, and they will give us maybe a different perspective on
So these
how
are
much.
third-party tools, but they're free to use if you're doing migration projects. So we
Yeah,
can use each and every one of them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we don't have to use, but basically we don't have to use any of them, but we can still stay with the basic Azure Migrate Server assessment that comes automatically with this tool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after we choose what to migrate, we can use the other tool this is the actual server migration tool, and here we can choose to replicate the machine that we want to switch to Azure. We can choose the source from VMware or Hyper-V or any other physical or other machine like AWS or GCP. Here, for the example, I will take Hyper-V machines. Now, we can choose the virtual machine we want to migrate, and we can check the machines from our prior assessment, as we saw before, or we can choose to decide the size of them manually. Let's take these two machines for the example. And here we can check, we need to choose the destination place. Where do we want the machines to be migrated to? So checking some of the basic configuration. Here I can check the virtual network that I plan to, that will get the machines on Azure and will be in charge of them for the connectivity issues. Now here, this is where I can choose manually the size of the machine I want to migrate to Azure, because I can base I can take the assessment as we said before, or I can choose the exact machine that I would like to be on the destination. Let's take these two. Here we choose the operating system, and for the last configuration procedure, we can choose not to migrate all the disks of the machine. I will leave it as default to take all the disks, and then click the replicate, and the replication will start. When it starts, it's making initial replication and replicating the complete machine. And afterwards, in each 5 minutes, I think even once in every 5 minutes, it will replicate the changes and the deltas of the information. After the replication is done.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tal, this is application consistent, so it does aware for which application you have on that server,
Yeah.
like an Exchange server or a SQL server, and knows how to act accordingly.
Of course, it uses an agent to do that, but you don't have to use the agent if you don't like. I do recommend installing the agent on the on-premises machines prior to the migration. It will give you a much better performance and assessment on the destination and the whole replication process. Now, here we can see the jobs, and the jobs showing us what happened, which machine is replicated, which one is not replicated, what are the problems, if there are any problems. Okay, and here we can choose to take a test of our migrated machines prior to the final migration and cut over of the machines in order to switch them to production in Azure. So basically, this is a tool, and it's working very, very good. It is using the technology behind that is used on Azure Site Recovery, but it's very, very convenient. It's very, very easy to people to migrate.
It basically encapsulates Azure Site Recovery. You know, they hadn't invented the wheel there. So
yeah. Exactly. Behind the scenes, if I go to the infrastructure in Azure, I can see that this service is creating an Azure Site Recovery recovery vault and uses it to migrate the machines. But this service is very, very convenient in order to do it for mass production.
We have to remember that it can also support VMware and more important for us as an Azure expert, migrating from Google Cloud or AWS.
Exactly, with no problem at all.
Yes, great. It looks great, Tal. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.